I sold my 1886 O Proof-Like Mint State 62 for $10,000. I sold it to another dealer. I want to talk about this for a minute. And I want to include some more information on the 1922 high relief video that I did yesterday. So I bought this coin as a Mint State 62 and a PCGS holder. It was an older holder, early 2000s. It looked proof-like to me. I bought it from another dealer for a little over $1,600. And I even talked to that dealer about it once I got it and asked them why didn't they send it off? And they just didn't think that they would get proof-like, how PCGS is kind of picky about that. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and send it off. And he was happy that I was going to and, was glad and, everything was good. The deal was the deal. Well, I got to looking at the coin, and I'll be honest with you, I thought there were some scrapes and things, and I was afraid I was going to get a problem coin. It would not. And I'm picky. I'm very conservative. I would probably be better off as a CAC G grader myself, to be honest. I'm not always perfect, but I am very conservative, and I have to be. I don't want to lose money doing this. Now, overall, I don't. Sometimes you win some and you lose some in this business doing this. But anyways, so what if this coin sold at Heritage Auctions? Let's say it sold for $1,600 or $1,800 at Heritage. And I bought it. I got the coin and I thought, that looks proof-like. I'm going to send it off to PCGS. So I send it off to PCGS. And it comes back like this. So I send it up for auction and it sells for $10,000 at Heritage. Well, the person that sold it on Heritage or consigned it could say, what the heck's going on here? I mean, they didn't grade it proof-like. I mean, I know there's years apart here. We're talking probably 20 years apart, 15 years apart in the grading. But still yet, that's something that could happen, okay? Most people wouldn't bat an eye. Most people wouldn't say much. Guys like me would do videos on it, because we point out the inconsistencies. And the reason I do this, and I want everybody to understand this, I do this because I want a grading standard for everyone in every company. We don't have that in this hobby, and I want one. I understand no grading is going to be perfect. Grading is subjective, and maybe there's no answer out there for it. I am an advocate for using AI to aid human graders. For this reason, coins need to be scrutinized. Not overly, because I'm too conservative, really. I mean, I'll admit that. Some things are going to happen to coins, and they shouldn't be penalized for it. They go through a lot. And I thought this coin was a nice-looking coin. I wouldn't even have bothered to send it back and see if it would upgrade to proof-like. But we just don't have this standard. So I show these things. Plus, and honestly, and I've never been bashful about this, I like to put out videos that attract attention. I mean, that's why you do videos. Why have a YouTube channel if you just do videos? I could do education stuff constantly. I use these situations to educate. That's part of it. But you need to be realistic about the grading companies. And the other thing I want to talk about too is this. We know this video yesterday. This was graded 2 years ago as a proof genuine altered surfaces details. And then it was regraded and resold for $48,000 more as a PR63, and it passed CAC standards. So to me, this is the most accurate grade. It should have got that the first time. I don't know why it didn't. I'm not saying PCGS did anything wrong. I'm not saying Heritage did anything wrong. I'm not saying anybody did. Someone bought this coin, got it in their hands, and thought, you know what, I'm going to see if I can have it regraded. And they looks like they had it for a little while. My concern is that why was it given this if it ultimately is this? And it was never conserved. Nothing changed about the coin. No toning. You can look at all these images and you can say, well, it looks different. Heritage dipped it. Somebody did something or whatever, but they did not. Okay, the surfaces, the reflections of this coin has not changed. The images have, though. The lighting, I mean, you're talking about 2 years difference, probably a different photographer. It'd be very difficult to take the same images 2 years. I mean, it'd be hard to do. If you have the same setup, the same person, same cameras, same technology. So I'm not worried about that. That's not what I'm worried about. And I'm going to keep harping on this. That's not what I'm doing either. Okay. I do these videos because we need a standard. So when a coin that is only known for 10, the mintage is 10, probably 7 or 8 are known, I think it is. We don't know how many have been resubmitted and all that. But that's important to know. This coin has a pedigree. 10. You could take all the entire mintage of this one coin right here, this 22 high relief, and look at it on a table in front of you and see all 10 of them. They're $200,000 coins. These are high-profile type coins. They're the rarities. Now, there's more rare ones. There's more that are more expensive. I mean, you've got one here, PR67, $458,000. When you have a coin like this, it should be big news. When you grade a coin like this. Some of the dealers out there sell 100,000 a day, maybe more. If you're in a bullion, you're selling probably hundreds of thousands a day. You're doing multi-million dollars a year. That's fine. So this isn't a big deal to you. But to almost everybody else, this is a big deal. And it's a lot of money, and it is a very highly pedigreed coin that has a track record. Now, your PCGS as a business, this is a public auction. Huge. Worldwide. This one too. Somehow this coin ended up overseas. So it has a history that people want to know about. It's fascinating why they were minted. Now you've got this history. And if I was PCGS as a business, I would be concerned a little bit. I would want to figure out, hey, you know what, guys? This is the new pedigree of this. It's an altered surface. And then we eventually decided that it was proof 63. And I think if I was PCGS, I would sit down as a business and I'd be like, look, this can't happen. This should have never been, this stuff doesn't need to happen. It's bad for the hobby, bad for our business, bad for coin grading. We need to figure up something and start using tech, red flag this coin, and find out what's the best method here. If you think it's proof 63 now, you don't want that kind of inconsistency. There's nothing wrong with resubmissions and getting a grade higher and that kind of thing. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a coin that got altered surfaces, not just proof 62 and it got 63 and sold for more money, or a coin that was 62 and got proof like, on a second submission. That's a little different. If this coin was scraped and cleaned and then I sent it off and it got 62 proof like, I'd be concerned about that too. It'd be the same difference to me. We need to know if a coin is altered or cleaned or not, or we're going to penalize them or not. We need to come to decisions. That's why I did the video. It wasn't bashing Heritage, bashing PCGS, their business models and all that. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to show you something right here. These are all the submissions that I have at PCGS right now. I trust PCGS and their business, or I wouldn't do this. I sent off my most rare coins to PCGS. I use insurance, use registered mail. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 submissions of various values, and I've got a lot of money here at PCGS. Okay, a lot of my money's tied up in these coins, and it's going to cost me a bundle. So I'm not bashing PCGS and I'm not saying they owe anyone anything, except I think there should be some type of, and I said apology, maybe that was the wrong word to use, but some type of statement about this particular coin, only because of the mintage of 10, the fact that it's worth almost as much as a house, and in some instances it's worth as much as a house. And it has a pedigree. It's a historical coin, and this one made it to overseas. It would be nice to know the history of this coin. I would like to know how it ended up over there. That would be a lot of fun to know. But that altered surfaces is a stain on PCGS. I'm sorry, it is. No matter what anybody thinks, it's not even about anything else. And I just felt that I wanted to do that video to show, exactly how I felt about it and the hobby in general. I don't think this is like the detriment to the hobby or grading services are horrible and they're scams and all that. I don't think that at all. And if you think that, that's your opinion and that's fine. You can think that all you want. But I don't. I don't feel that way. I feel like there's just technology's not being used as it should be. Do I think AI is going to replace human graders? No, I never said that. But I think coins should be laser scanned. I think they should be mapped. I understand that resubmissions are very important to the coin grading companies because that is more revenue. And there's only so many coins out there that are gradable. And I know that's part of the problem here. But unfortunately, we need a company that can scan and grade even the graded coins as well as ungraded coins. I know CAC stickers was supposedly that business, but they only use human eyes too. You need to use more than that. You want a standard. We need a standard for the grades. And I know that every coin's unique, but every coin's going to have so many marks and so many rubs and so many scrapes and so much wear. And that can be determined and quantified as a standard or as a baseline. And from there, you've got the plus and minuses. It's going to have to go to that. It will eventually. I know it will. But right now, we're stuck with what we have, and we'll just deal with it. And I'm fine with it. But I'm always going to be an advocate for something better. And, it's that simple. So anyways, thanks for watching, and have a great day.